I'm at a family founders event at Goldman Sachs 3 weeks ago, and I'm at a Solomon Partners event last night in Miami Beach. Okay. Both of them, they have Dallas had Ross Perot Jr. there and the owners of the NASCAR family, as well as Emmett Smith and others, and they're talking about G2, G3, G4, and how do you pass the wealth on to the next. And then last night, they had the founder of 1-800-Flowers, the Perry Ellis family, and all these other guys that are in the room. Similar type of a conversation on how you pass it on. The guy that was running Perry Ellis is the son of the founder of Perry Ellis, so it's kind of like, you got 4 kids, and you're a G1. You made the money, and you made a lot of money. So how are you setting up the estate planning and the living trust and the expectation of which one of your kids comes into the business? If one does not, then how do you set it up with the grandkids? Then if they marry somebody else, like, oh my God, I'm marrying a Morgan, so I'm going to get the money. And how do you protect your sons from who they marry to make sure they're doing it for the right reasons? How do you process the entire legacy planning with your wealth?
All right, first, all my children are married. All my children have prenups. In my estate, it works like this. If you don't have a prenup, you don't take under the will.
Bingo.
So I become the bad guy. And every time I tell people this, I don't know how old your kids are, you will remember this, believe me. So you don't want your kid to have to be the bad guy. You're the bad guy. So my kids can say, hey, my dad's my dad. Now, if you don't want to sign it, we're not getting shit.
That's right.
And so that's the first thing. The prenups are fairly tough.
Okay.
Like, you know, one lawyer said this is the most egregious document I've ever read.
Egregious.
I'm
sure you took it as a compliment.
I said by design.
By design.
By design.
Yeah.
And so, but listen, all of the daughter-in-laws, the son-in-law, I love these folks, but I'm not going to have a situation where somebody can come in and, you know, my one son, Matt, said, because he was the first one, he's like, well, Daddy, maybe I put a clause in there that if I cheat on my wife, that is a null and void. I go, no, because we don't need to have any litigation. He goes, I'm not going to cheat. I said, I know you're not. You know, his mother's
a good question to ask, though.
But he asked that question. I said, let's just get the document signed. So I did that years ago in 2008. I had when everything crashed.
Right.
I had everything appraised, and I gave the big gift to him where you could give up to like 24, 25 million. So I did that. I built a company called Litify, which was a software company. And what I did with that, I took Litify and I just put it all, I put 20%, each one of my children, 20% for me. We sold it to Bessemer at a $600 million valuation. We took 60%. But when we sold it, all my kids got the money.
God.
And then I used my 20% to toggle off and pay the taxes. So they took it tax-free. So I've done a lot of things. You got to do a lot of things de novo early on where there's no basis. And then the lucky thing for me is because my sons are lawyers, then they get to take shares inside this firm, and we build new cities. Like we're going to open in Chicago, so they get to come in there de novo. So my children make a lot of money inside the law, but I have been that question has been in my mind, you know, even when I didn't have it.
Go one more. So what is then? What are you leaving to them to decide what to do with the grandkids? Because, you know, you hear like the Vanderbilt story, the money only lasted one generation and it was gone, where Anderson Cooper's mom's like, I may be a Vanderbilt, but don't expect Vanderbilt money. It's gone, right? And then you hear some of the Medici family and the Rockefeller family, how they're able to bring it down to 6, 7 generations. How are you processing it for your G3, for your grandkids?
Okay. So the way I'm doing it is this. In our will, when we die, if our kids have $100 million, they get nothing. Because now remember, I'm transferring shares of the firm to them. So they're going to have that. Mm-hmm. They're going to get, if they have they're going to get $100 million, they get nothing. We have an estate, a foundation that we hope to have, a $1 billion foundation, and all of my money is going into the foundation. And so, but some of my kids are already past the $100 million. I mean, some of them are already, they're done. and they're going to make a lot of money. My kids are 42, 40, 38, 36.
2 years apart.
2 years apart. I'm Catholic.
You only stopped at 4?
Well, let me tell you.
Traditionalists get like 6, 8, 9.
Let me tell you the problem. First of all, my wife's a devout Catholic. The rhythm method does not work, especially when you're especially when you're drinking Jack Daniels on the weekend. So I mean, listen, man. Every time I had sex, I had a child. If I would piss on a rock, there'd be potatoes growing in the morning. So, I'm very potent. I had to finally get fixed because I never missed. But
that's respect.
That's respect. Yeah,
major.
But I had a hot wife too.
There you go. So, that's good.
That helps. And but enough's enough. I mean, we're doing things for our grandchildren. We got the generational trust. A guy down here that we recommend, a guy named Andy Cometer, is our tax guy. And but when they were little, I want them to work. They always had to work. They never got to, sit home. They never got, a lot of people go to high school and they buy their kids Mercedes. And no, mine were driving 8-year-old Navigators and they worked on the weekend, and you got to keep them hungry.
What are you going to do with your grandkids?
I'm not going to, I'll worry about it because the grandkids, the generation 3 is when it all goes to hell
That's
in a
what I'm
handbasket.
saying, yeah.
And what I worry about is that they have lived, we flew down today in our G500. My grandchildren, they don't, and that's what I worry about because they lead when I live in Maui in the wintertime. Dan just got married in Maui. My grandkids get to lead our life. So I worry about that. But you know what I think about? I was like, you know what? I'll be dead. I'm going to let you guys worry about it. You all handle it. You all give me enough stress as it is.
Is one of the kids richer than the other kid? Is there situations where one's done better, and then how do you manage the competitiveness, the ego, the envy, or the jealousy, if there's any of that?
If there is, I don't know it. I know they're all different tiers in age because, Dan, who you just met, he got out later, and Mike started first. So there is that. But at the end of the day, they all do different things in the business, and some do better than the others. But some deserve more than the others. I mean,
but do you talk about it? Do you say
I don't really talk about it. I talk about this. I just say this about that. Comparison is the thief of joy. You've heard that. That's not my line. I'm stealing it. But I tell them, look, once you get a certain number, it's the same. I mean, a guy who's got $100 million is leading basically the same life as the guy that's got $1 billion, except for maybe a yacht, or some astronomical house. And so it's not, I don't worry about that. What I worried about when I was starting out was that they would never have to struggle after leading the life they lived with me. I didn't make $1 million until 1997.
28 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first year I made $1 million.
Stop it.
No, but let me tell you why. And this is a secret I'm going to give to everybody listening. Because I kept taking all of my profits and pouring it in to new cities. I was making a lot. I mean, I was making.
So you were paper rich, but you were not cash rich.
No.
Okay.
But look, all that pouring in, this year we'll do, $2.5 billion in fees. Once you catch up, the waterfall is so when I tell people I made $1 million, how? You were 41. I go, listen, because I was doing Jacksonville and Tampa and Atlanta, and some of them were tough. Some of them didn't make it, it took time. So I was really building. So now, we got 7,000 employees in all 50 states, and I still got some cities that are still in the red. Like, New York City is still in the red. But when I look at what it's going to be, when I look at my inventory, when I look at LA, it's going to be bigger than the core. Although that 2.5 billion, the expansion is going to be bigger than the core, in my opinion. So, and the great thing about that's when you invest in those startups, you get to write off 40%. So if I put 20 million in a city, I only have to put in 12 because it's a loss. So what happens in these businesses, you come in, advertise, red, advertising, but, then you kind of flatten out. You're not feeding the beast. And then all of a sudden you start getting your money back. And then you cross the Rubicon, I call it. When you cross the Rubicon, and that's because I burn the boats. When I go in, I'm burning the boats. That's the river. When you cross the Rubicon, you go from red to black, and then it's just like a hockey stick.
When was that? When was the moment for you where you're like, we're about to make a lot of money? And I'm talking exponential. I'm not talking millions. I'm talking we're about to fly.
Our private company is almost like a Fortune 100 company now. I mean, when you see, I don't want to talk about my net, but it was, the last 9 years just started, and when it came, it poured. Thank God. Thank God.
It's a great thing about business. The FLB shoes. By the way, I am officially on, let me see this. I'm on day 57 out of 58 that I've worn these shoes. Love wearing these shoes every single day. I think Vinny's got it on. The other night we went to dinner. Vinny was wearing this black pants, white shirt with the FLB shoes. We walk into the restaurant, 7 girls lined up waiting to meet with Vinny.
One girl was crying. She was crying. She was shaking.
She was crying. She was shaking.
The shoes. I was like, I can't.
Are you Ringo Starr?
So for those of you guys that are asking about getting the shoes before Christmas for your husband or your sons or your friend, this is what you want to be thinking about. Size black and brown. Size black and brown. Let me see this thing here from Langhorne. So let's go to some partners or what's available. So size black and brown. If you want to get them, size 9, 10, and 11 are available to get before Christmas. White, all sizes are available except for 7, 7.5, and 8.5. Navy, 8, 9, 9.5, 10, and 11 are available before Christmas. Of course, after Christmas, shipment is coming. That'll be here New Year's. These things, we can't even keep these on the shelves, to be honest with you, with the shoes. Once you put them on, just go read the reviews, with people reading reviews, writing reviews when they bought them. Once you put them on, you'll realize why this has become as hot of an item for us as we expected it. Took us 2 years to do this, Rob. If you want to play the clip on that, we'll get into the stories. Here's the FLB shoes. Go for it. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. I love it. Designed in Florida, 100% made in Italy. Folks, if you haven't yet ordered one, we had 2 guys yesterday that ordered 4 of all colors, and one of them was from UK. The other one was from Belgium or something like that, ordering these shoes. If you want to find out how it matches against everybody else, go to vtmerch.com. On the homepage, you'll see the shoes. Click on the link to go learn more about the shoes and place an order for your husband, for your spouse, for your son, for somebody maybe that works for your company as a recognition. And go to vtmerch.com to place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.